So yeah, coming up next here, Chicago Warped in Houston Zone, about to throw down on this field in just under a minute to play. And
right
there's your Chicago
Warped.
Warped. Yeah, so the red and white America jerseys.
I am not exactly sure what jump off is, nor do I think I've ever seen somebody say good luck to a dog before. But hey, you know, it's the first time for everything. What?
And
yeah, so
you know,
as you can see, we're bundled up, man. It's been an incredibly chilly day. I think this is it's in the mid to low 40s.
I don't know. I lost bodily functions a long time ago.
Well, we're still up here bringing you guys all this paintball action. That's what PBA exists for. Thank you guys for your support and for watching today. So here we go, just a few seconds before the start of this next match.
Here we go. On your screens, Houston Zone on the right, Chicago Warped on your left. Nice breakout by both teams. But it looks like the snake is gone also. Oh, a major penalty right out of the block on Chicago Warped. Everybody's going to be taking the walk, going back and warming up in the pits. Down to one player now.
Yeah, we saw both of those guys get shot right before that Aztec.
Oh, a minor penalty right now on Houston Zone.
So one body left alive, fighting as much as he can against the two bodies coming up the field for Houston Zone.
Just, there's so many people. It's 3-1, 3-on-1.
Here comes that third body out of that Dorito side, up into the 50 Dorito. Now here.
Oh, look at this
Zone.
stabbing.
Oh, nice move right there by number 13.
Just mugged him.
Houston Zone. Very aggressive teams, man. All these teams from Texas are super aggressive. They play real smart. They shoot really good lanes in the break. If they can stay out of the box, everything will be fantastic.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But good job by Houston Zone. Travis Nance, Keith Brewer, and Nicholas Kalunga. We've seen Houston Zone on this field before. I've called those names a couple times.
Yes.
Yeah, man. They were, you know, hopefully going to be another one of those awesome divisional success stories. Let's check out this replay here.
And here he comes. He sees the opening, knows there's one player alive, comes on the field and just going to go to work.
And yeah, it was beautifully done too. Cut to the inside, just like you said, and then bam, lays it down on him. Zoned it out. Nice work.
No pun intended.
Yeah. Man, I wasn't even trying to make
I know you were. I
I
know. I love it.
Well, there's a lot of like standard paintball names.
Right.
You always get those like, you know, the impacts and the zones and the controls and all those like dominant, masculine, aggressive names. All right, we'll be right back after the word from our sponsors. Chicago Warped on your screen, getting ready to play here. It's a D3 final here in 2014 PSP Chicago Open. I'm Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez and Chris Lasoya. And this is a race to 4 points, just like the D4. And then when we head into D2 and D1, it's going to be a race to 5. And the penalties don't work the same way that they do in the Champs and Challengers division. It's a 1-on-1 and a 2-for-1. And we already saw those in action.
And no, just let you guys know, Chicago Warped coming straight out of our friends, CPX.
Yep.
They're a home field team. CPX, host of the 2014 Chicago Open, coming up in June. Don't miss that. Also, Living Legends.
Yeah, go to Living
man.
Legends of
How
Paintball.
much fun is that?
Yeah, livinglegendsofpaintball.com, man. If you want to play an awesome big game, you got to get to that one. Seriously, go watch the Living Legends video on YouTube, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Here you go on the break. That's Chicago Warped, able to get into Snake 1, immediately past that, and then pushing forward.
There's another major penalty, this time on Houston Zone, running out to that corner. Going to get your bodies pulled. Now there's just one remaining Houston Zone player versus about 4 Chicago Warp players. And that's going to do it right there. Houston Zone player getting shot out of that Dorito.
Well, this is what Chicago Warp needed to do. You know, it's only a race to 4, man. You don't have a lot of points to work with. And when a team gets out and scores a point on you quick, you need to just return the favor, get right back on it. So here we go. Chicago Warp trying to close this point out. Looks like they're going to be able to do it.
That was well played. I mean, obviously the 2-for-1 helped a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, in a 5-man game, when you take 3 out without 3 players and 2-for-1, you know, it's pretty detrimental on these divisional games to get a major penalty, because that's pretty much your whole team. Especially, let's say you lose one in the break, you get a major penalty. That's another 3 guys rolling out. You're in some pretty much trouble. Exactly what happened last game to Houston Zone.
So we'll be right back after this.
Welcome back. I am with Steven Smoko of Houston Zone. It is a tied match right now, 1-1. Steven, 2 points ago, you did a run-through, running right down the center of the field. What was running through your mind when you were doing that?
Honestly, I just thought it was the last guy left, and I just wanted to get him off the field. Just walk him off the field, that's about it.
How confident were you guys feeling coming into this that you could win that first place?
There's no doubt in our mind. As soon as we play as a team, as soon as we play 5 alive, there's really no one that can stop us. We just got to stop getting penalties. We've gotten 2 penalties already. With the game's tied 1-1, we're just going to keep our momentum going, and we're going to keep going and fighting till we get the first place.
All right, we'll see if they can keep that momentum going and get the lead again. 30 seconds.
So can they do it? Tied up. D3 finals. Chicago Warp taking on Houston Zone.
So D3 finals is a race to
4.
Race to 4. So 1-1. 9:40 left in this match. Both teams evened up right now. Getting ready to start this point in about 5 seconds. Let's see what they got on your screen. Chicago Warped.
Looks like Houston Zone's going to go hard towards the snake side, going up the middle, going to cut across right away. That's a good spot if you shoot the snake. Maybe not if you don't, but Chicago Warp makes it straight into that snake 50. There's number 5 up in the middle of the field. Gonna see if he can get a shot on that Chicago Warp player that made it into the 50.
He's in a good spot, Todd, but he's got a lot of guns on him right now.
It's a good spot if the guy does not make the snake, or if you shoot the guy going to the snake running up there. But,
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen the situation go both ways. You know, it just kind of depends on how smart, how committed the player is. You know, we saw Oliver Lang do that move a bunch of times. We saw Mark Johnson from Texas Storm do that move.
Yeah.
But right now it's getting a little crazy right there in that snake 50. Chicago Warp player trying to get shots across the field, gets another one out of that tower. It's going to be about time, if you're Houston Zone, to go get him out of there before he shoots any more of your teammates.
On their screen right there, the ref's going to check him out.
I think it bounced.
It must have domed him pretty hard then.
Yeah, because he like fell over.
It looked like he got rocked.
Well, he's about to get rocked right now. I think he's the last player alive.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
there goes 45 out of the middle.
yeah, Houston Zone had a bunch of bodies behind their snake player, but then they all died out of their spots. And he's going to try to push forward.
Oh.
And I think that's it. That's going to do it.
It's going to do it, right? Chicago Warp going to take that point convincingly.
And Chicago Warped getting up in the middle there, doing a lot of damage. So, man, Chicago Warp taking that snake on the break, you know, kind of risky depending on how many guns the other team throws your way.
Well, it's kind of interesting, Todd, that maybe he got in there and there was 4 bodies essentially over and looking, 3 of them looking this way, but then real quick, they all died out of their spots. So maybe that's because they were too focused on that snake player and got a little too tunnel vision on just that one guy.
Yeah, that definitely happens sometimes. But, you know, if you let that guy in the snake, you got to make sure to have somebody keep the pressure on him. And, you know, he got in there, had the freedom just to move all the way around. You know, Houston Zone definitely had an opportunity to go get him that they didn't take. And I think that's kind of what cost them that point right there. So there's the pit for Chicago Warped on your screen.
Yeah, so they're going to come out for this next point. About a minute before the start of that point, so we'll be right back after this. Score 2-1 in favor of Chicago Warped. Houston Zone on the board as well. But, you know, yeah, it's Chicago Warped just a little bit better right now. It's still anyone's game, though, with 8 minutes and 3 seconds to go here. Get Chicago Warped out of CPX, man. God, I love that field. And we'll be there for the third event, Chicago Open. So here we go. Can Chicago Warped close out Houston Zone? We'll find out. And it looks like one body drops for both teams. Chicago Warped able to get into the snake, and he's immediately going to crawl up to that 50-yard line. He has shots, man. If he can get his gun rolled around, he's got to be careful, though.
Oh, jeez.
He got his head peeled off there, but he got one, so it's even trade.
Made another one, pushed another one around, and also they were shot down the wire. Man, his body goes left and right. 2 players on each team. I think it's a 2-on-2, Maddie and Todd.
Yeah, that was a little, he got a little greedy right there. But Houston Zone, still another body on the snake side, going to be able to jump right in. We got the tall tower in the middle for Chicago Warped in the back of Snake 1. Houston Zone pretty much mirrored up those same 2 bodies. There you see the snake battle. Both players in Snake 1, Chicago Warped on your left, Houston Zone on the right.
Both teams mirrored up exactly same spots.
Yeah, so it's Ben Lankelos and Aaron Friedman for Houston Zone.
Oh,
and
look at
Travis
that.
Wilson.
Gets him moving out, Maddie.
Man, this is always
Chicago
paintball.
Warped.
Yeah, game of timing. You know,
Oh, what a shot. That was a one ball right in the eye.
There's a time to be aggressive and a time to be patient. And right in that situation, mirrored up. Houston Zone player tried to make that bump out with no help, no pressure, and no counter move. Got eaten alive trying to jump into that Dorito, didn't stand a chance. Put his player in a 2-on-1. Chicago Warp doing a good job of taking advantage, coming in and dotting that Houston Zone player right in the eyeball.
Yeah, well done. So 3-2-1 is going to be the score. Chicago Warped 1 point away from taking this D3 final matchup, 2014 PSP Dallas Open. We'll be right back after this.
I am in the Chicago Warped pit with Jake Montag here. You guys are 3-1. You only have 1 more point to win to get first place. What's your strategy going into this one to make sure you can close it out?
You know, we're up by 3 points. We got time on our side. We're just going to sit and let them come to us, and hopefully we're going to shoot them off the field. I mean, we don't have to do anything now. It's game's in the bag, so.
All right, he thinks the game's in the bag, so we got 30 seconds on the clock. We'll see if they can close it out.
Let's see. You never, ever want to say the game's in the bag.
You know, I got to be honest real quick. And Todd and those guys, they were up 6-1 earlier. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to send him a text. But I waited to send it, but I still put it in my phone. I was like, man, congratulations, Todd. And then it came back 5 points, so I erased it real quick like I never sent it. You can't curse anything. I'm very skeptical, and it scares me.
We'll see. They are right. They're playing great, but man, I don't know, man. You don't want to tempt the paintball gods that way.
No. Plus, Houston Zone has gotten a bunch of penalties. You never know. A penalty could turn the tide just like it did in that vicious X Factor game.
And Chicago Warped going down 1 player right now.
Houston Zone does get 5 bodies alive after a bad start towards the snake side. Player had jumped early, then had to come back and touch up, but Houston Zone just unable to stop the snake attack of Chicago Warped. You know, it's 3 games in a row now they've let them into the 50 snake. And you just can't do that because they instantly start playing defensively. And losing a body off the snake side. First body to drop, second body to drop. Chicago Warp loses 1 as well. And there goes Houston Zone. May have gotten shot bumping into the Dorito 2 from the snake. Oh, and Chicago Warp loses a body out of the can on the Dorito side, so just 3 bodies left alive. One of the players from Chicago Warp bumped from the Dorito side over to the snake corner. So snake corner, Dorito tower, and the 50 snake for Chicago Warped. Houston Zone has a player in Dorito 2, the Dorito tower, and the snake temple.
And there on your screen, you can just see that the 3-person lineup for Houston Zone on that D side of the field. But, you know, Chicago Warp, they have a really good field position. Oh, thought that their center player just got shot, but Houston Zone needs to do something with this one body advantage, but they got to be careful. Still got some time, 5 minutes and 15 seconds to go.
Oh, the snake player.
Chicago Warp catches one in the snake. And now, can they take the advantage here? Can Houston Zone get down that D side of the field? Looks like they're able to. Looks like Chicago Warp losing another body and then another one. So now we got ourselves a 1-point game.
Unbelievable. This is what you expect from the finals, though. You know, expect back and forth seesaw battles. Both teams putting on good points on the board, comebacks. You know, so hats off to both teams, Chicago Warped, but Houston Zone coming back within 1 point as long as the flag hang is clean.
Yeah, so we'll see. It's going to be a 1-point game. 4 minutes and 36 seconds to play here. We'll be right back after this. Also want to thank PB Nation, the world's largest paintball classifieds buy, sell, trade, new and used gear. Join the conversation. Go to pbnation.com. And pretty much anything you need to know about paintball, you can find in there in one form or another. And you know, talk to some of the top players and get information about their teams.
You can talk to me on PB Nation. Send me a message. Say hi. My name is Coolest Guy on Planet. If you can't find me by my regular name.
I forgot that was your PB Nation handle, your avatar.
I think it's been that way since like 1998 or 97 or something like that. And look, still reigning coolest guy on planet.
That's so funny.
Sorry.
No, PB Nation, though, I go on there all the time. Best place to look, buy, sell, laugh, cry. All your latest paintball updates.
Yep. There's Chicago Warped on your screen again with the very patriotic jerseys over here. Very American. Stars, stripes, and camo.
America.
Shout out to everybody overseas watching the webcast.
Yeah, that's the joint right there. That's what I'm talking about. Love you guys. On left, Houston Zone on the right, Chicago Warped. Going to work, I think 5-on-5. This is something you don't see very often.
Yeah, Chris, it is 5-on-5. And Chicago Warped on your right-hand side on your screen. There's their cross-field spread. Don't have much penetration up the field yet. They've been real good at getting into that snake. Playing a little bit more conservatively here. They do not want to let Houston Zone get back in this game. Houston Zone, though, has to score one just to tie it up. They do have 4 minutes to do it. And first to strike, it looks like it's going to be Houston Zone. Chicago Warped has a player walking off from that center. Now they're attacking up the D side. Looks like Houston Zone loses a body as well. One player left alive for Houston Zone on the snake side of the field. Referee getting in there and checking out one of their players in the center.
Yep. Here you have their Chicago Warped on your screen. Two of their remaining three bodies over here on the snake side. The other one's in the snake side tower, trying to prevent Houston Zone from bumping up, but Zone bumps out from that can to the Dorito 1, and his support player comes up right along with him. Putting the pressure over. That's why you see these two Chicago Warp players tucked way in. There's the attack on the Dorito side for Zone, and the one player in that Dorito side tower who is locking off the snake side. So just really, you know, one gun they're going to have to deal with, that tower, to get farther up the field. That snake side corner does have some shots into the Dorito side, but you know, long way to go, and Zone with the body advantage. They got 4 players and make that to 2 players of Chicago Warp, but that snake side corner a huge kill right now. It's going to give Zone the opportunity to come through the middle of the field, or at least move into the middle of the field and give their Dorito guys some freedom to run.
Well, Houston zone now past the 50-yard line. Have a player on the D side as well, too.
Oh, in the head.
Got his head peeled off, though.
Oh, but also that guy gets shot.
And they trade out.
Last rundown.
Pull it to a one-on-one, or I think that might do it. I think that's it.
Hey,
wow.
question. Do you know when the game's in the bag? When it's actually in the bag. Until then, it's a tie ball game.
Until then, don't tempt the paintball gods.
Like last game, I will start celebrating when there's a 7 on the board.
Don't count your chickens. My mom always told me.
Well,
until you have waffles.
Yeah, so it looks like 3-3 is going to be the score, and it's all tied up here in this D3 final.
And right back there comes Houston zone, and just under 2 minutes left to go in this game. Point game. We've got a replay for you.
Yeah, let's check out this replay here. And you've seen the last player left alive for Chicago Warped. And Houston zone trying to close the game out, and he's going to launch here shortly. Shoot him in the back. You see he's like, oh, no one on this side. That guy dies? All right. Because the back corner bunker had died, and he saw that player walking off. So that's why he was able to make that move. And Chicago Warp not able to whip his gun around fast enough to trade out with him to go to a no point. So he was left alive. And it's all tied up at 3 apiece here in this D3 final, race to 4.
And it is point game right now. Next point wins. Whoever wins this one. If there is no point scored in 2 minutes, we will go into overtime.
Yeah, we're going to go to overtime. It'll be a 3-minute overtime period. And then if no one wins that, then it goes to a one-on-one shootout. So, which we haven't seen yet. Also, check out our podcast that we have on Paintball Access, Real Deal Podcast. We just get to have awesome conversations for about an hour and a half with some luminaries of the game. Last one I did was with Zach Wake, and it was really interesting talking to him about his paintball career. He's played for 7 pro teams, and I felt Zach Wake played pretty good, man. He did great actually for Infamous.
He did.
And now you guys will have to play Infamous in the finals in a little bit. How you feeling about that match?
Oh, I'm excited. I wouldn't have asked for it any other way. Other than Vicious, Infamous is my favorite team out here to watch, and the personalities. I love those guys. Had spent a lot of time with them, so I'm happy for them. They said that they wanted to be, get their respect as a top 4 team. Now they're back in the finals. But I could not be happier for my Omaha Vicious team. This is the best that the team has ever done. These guys have earned it. They put in the time and the effort in the off season, leading up to this event, putting in that hard work, and the guys have come together. They've believed and they've made sacrifices for each other. And the one thing that's most important is the effort, the effort all around, and getting in shape, doing drills, getting to practice, and handling all your responsibilities, being team players. It's a dream come true for a lot of these guys, and we want to see if we can keep it going.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see it. We'll keep picking your brain about that matchup as it approaches. Let's check in with Lauren on the sidelines.
I am in Zones Pit right now with Aaron Friedman. Aaron, you were out on the field for that last point to tie it up. You guys were down 2 points. You came back. It is tied 3-3. It's anyone's game. What was running through your mind during those last few moments when you knew you could tie this up?
Just how to tie it up, really. Just running down the field trying to get those guns. With this whole coaching shenanigan, it gets pretty hard, but I did it, so we're good.
Did you get nervous at all when you guys were down 2 points and they had a chance to close it out that they might win?
No. Actually makes us play better. We play better under pressure, so it was played to our benefit, really. We make the mistakes and we come back from it.
Awesome. Well, the pressure is definitely on now. They have a chance to win first place. We'll see if they can do it.
Yeah, both these teams have a chance to take first right now. And I think the biggest question is, are we going to see a point scored, or are we going to go to overtime? With 1 minute and 57 seconds left to go, that's tough to call. This is a fast field. We've seen an 11-second point this weekend. But I think we're going to see a point. It comes down to the break. That question's always answered by how many players are shot the break. We saw Dynasty almost have that amazing comeback against Infamous to win it. But Oliver just needed 1 more second. If you missed that match, if you missed the Infamous Dynasty semifinal match, you definitely need to check that out.
That thing was amazing. Well, it was probably the most amazing game I saw all weekend. The Houston Heat damage match was probably the second, if not the first.
Yeah, there's a lot. And then every game that X Factor played in.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so the first to strike, it looks like Houston Zone and Chicago Warp both losing a player. as Guerrera and Thompson walk off for warped in zone. And so 4 players left alive for these 2 teams. And the minute and 23 seconds to go.
Long point, getting down to a minute. You know, but these teams seem like they're pretty content in their bunkers right now, Maddie.
Yeah, well, they might. If you don't get a good breakout where you kill a couple guys, then sometimes you just wait out that time and try to get back to full strength. If you don't see an advantage or see a move, and you don't want to run into guns and have a chance to let the other team back into the match. Oh, but look at this. And looks like Chicago warped, getting shot out of that snake, trying to get up there to that 50-yard line. So 3 players left alive for them with 45 seconds left to go. And it doesn't really look like Houston Zone is in any position to move forward. It doesn't look like body language-wise. I mean, you see guys down, hunkered down on their knees. They don't want to move. But the one guy that was on his feet decides that he's going to go forward. He looked at the clock, was like, oh, my God.
We got to go.
We got to go. 30 seconds.
Here we go.
And here it comes. Here comes the
That's
attack.
going to come down to.
Comes the attack from Houston Zone. Oh, looks like he got that shot
No,
cross field.
it's very, very close, Maddie. I do see what you see, but it's not. Oh, there it is. That's the one. 14 seconds left. 12 seconds. He's going to make this.
Oh, he had plenty
He gets
of time.
shot. Oh, he gets shot diving in, Maddie.
I don't think he's going to get it.
Oh.
Oh, my God. He made it with 2 seconds left. His buddy tried to run and dive it in. He got shot by the back corner bunker.
But what's going to happen is he's going to say, hey, that guy went to go hang the flag. I shot him, and he hung the flag. That should be a dirty hang. That is the call.
No. They gave him the call, though.
Wow.
So the celebration is
Good
begun.
for them. Hey,
And
Houston Zone.
Yeah, Houston Zone. And, oh, man, Chicago warped. They did great. They went up 3-1. But then an interview happened, and they summoned the paintball gods down to smite them.
Jeez.
By saying that they had the game in the bag.
He's got to pull that game out of his bag, give it to Houston Zone so they can put it into their bag.
Man, I knew when I wrote that text in my phone, I was like, yeah, I think I just did something wrong. But you know what? Hey, both teams played amazing. They're both in the finals. And you know what? In divisionals, come up through there, it's a lot of games. They play a lot of points, against a lot of teams. They have to come a long way to get here.
Yeah, I'll give credit to Smoko right there, who was just like, hey, we're confident, we're down, but that's okay. We believe in ourselves, and we're going to go out, we're going to get it.
Yeah, so let's check out this replay here.
And you can see him, he's grabbing the flag. There's like 5 seconds, 8, 9 seconds left right about here, Maddie?
Yeah, pretty much. And then he's basically knows there's a guy, but he sees he's shooting down the wire. So he's like, I'm going to go the other way. Other guy turns around and is able to get that shot in him as he dives in. So he doesn't even really, I guess, technically hang the flag because he didn't hang it.
Actually, he didn't hang it.
Yeah,
he just
didn't
kind of
hang
rolled.
it. And he's like, God, I didn't make it. All right, fine. You get the glory.
Oh, well, would you imagine if you'd been hanging the flag but miss it?
Well, he almost didn't
know,
get it because there was 2 seconds left when he hung the flag. So if he
Wow.
actually hadn't picked it up off the ground right when he did, they wouldn't have got that point. We would have gone to overtime, and then who knows what would have happened.
I know.
But didn't happen. But
That's it. It's paintball, man.
Yeah, it's paintball.
Live and die.
Crazy. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly down in the pits.
I am here with Brad Hashem, who is on the winning team for D3 Houston Zone. Congratulations. You were just telling me this is your first D3 tournament with this team. How does it feel to be on this field for the first time in a while and win?
Feels awesome. I mean, we did it all through last season in Division 4. So we came in second place last Dallas, and we're here to redeem ourselves, and so we tried to come out here and do.
That's what you did for sure. I talked to Chicago Warped when they were ahead 3-1, and they said they thought they had the game in the bag. Did you guys feel like they could have closed it out, or were you nervous?
We were nervous for a little bit, but then we just brought it back and played our game, played smart ball, tried not to get any more penalties, and went from there.
Awesome. Well, it was tied 3-3, and you guys totally put it all out there. What were you thinking during that last play when you had just a few more seconds to hang the flag?
Just try to get those last 2 kills. Once I saw that we got the fourth kill, then we were just worried about getting that clock in or the flag in before the clock ran out. My player ran up, got shot. I shot out the other guy and just tried to get it done with a few seconds left. So
Awesome.
Just trying to win before the time ran out.
Well, congratulations. Go celebrate with your team. Stay tuned. We have D2 finals coming up.
Yeah, so Congratulations. Houston Zone ended up come from behind victory. Let's check out the schedule real quick. Then we'll head to a quick commercial and we'll be right back with this D2 final. So there's the game.